Here's another Christian video that's gonna crack the secrets of the universe. All based on a book written a couple thousand years ago by people who thought disease was caused by demons and the earth was flat. Can't wait.
There are so many religions, so how do we know which one is correct? I mean, atheists would say none of them, but if one of them is correct, how do we know which?
Yeah, there are so many religions. No kidding. Humans have been making up religions like we make up conspiracy theories. Here's a radical idea though. If an all-powerful God really wanted to tell us which religion is legit, why wouldn't he just show up in person? No more ancient magic tricks hidden behind cloud cover and midnight service sessions. If he could part the Red Sea for Moses or light up Mount Sinai with fire, surely he could drop by a live stream or send a high-resolution selfie with a heavenly halo. Just show up. Do it. It's simple.
Just do it. Don't think, say it. Do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, do it. Do it. Hey. Say it.
No.
So,
Of course not. The stories only work when they're fossilized in the Iron Age, back when nobody could fact-check the mythology. So what do we get instead? A YouTube video with hilarious logic, as we will see.
The only way we can know is if God actually reveals himself to us, but that doesn't answer the question because different religions disagree on what God has revealed. But what we can do is see which revelation actually achieves the goals of religion and unlocks the mysteries.
Ah, the grand marketing pitch. We each have the one true revelation, and ours is the master key to the universe. Christians will tell you Jesus is the only answer. Muslims will counter, hold my falafel, it's the Quran. Hindus will chime in, actually, the Vedas have been the OG truth forever. Buddhists might just say, sit down and meditate until you become the truth. Enlightenment is 100% achievable on your own. And they all agree that the other brands are definitely fake. In practice, all these revelations do the same thing. They gather communities, set rules, and give people a sense of belonging. So this idea of which revelation unlocks the mysteries best is just marketing. It's like trying to decide which brand of cereal is the real food of the gods. Every group will tell you their flavor is the only one that counts.
And the big mystery that religion is all about solving is, how can man connect to God if God is all the way up here and we are all the way down here? All of religion is about trying to bridge the gap between the infinite God and us finite humans.
So if the big issue is that God is way up there and we're stuck down here in the basement, then yeah, I guess, he'd need to send some kind of messenger, right? A middleman or middlewoman or middle whatever. Cool idea, except now you've got the ultimate problem. Everyone and their cousin is going to claim to be that person. Every age, every culture, suddenly there's a long line of prophets, gurus, messiahs, chosen ones, all swearing they've got the direct hotline to God. And how exactly are we supposed to tell who's legit?
But this seems impossible. It's like a human trying to relate to a dust mite.
If we're basically dust mites to God, why would the Almighty even bother with salvation? If a dust mite lands in your soup, are you going to build it a tiny ladder and help it out? Or are you just dumping the soup and moving on with your day? The whole dust mite analogy feels like it's just there to make us seem pathetically small, so we're easier to sell on the idea that we need a man-made religion to save us.
Some religions try and solve this by saying God is actually a lot closer to us than we think, but this denies God's greatness and power.
Oh yeah, because the real disrespect to God is suggesting he might actually be close to us. Apparently the only way to honor Almighty Awesome is to keep him distant, mysterious, and completely unapproachable. Real power move. Kinda like that dad who went out for milk and never came back. Very majestic. Very respectable. Divine social anxiety. The real reason Christianity needs that whole God is far away narrative is pretty obvious. Because if God is right here, then why did Jesus need to die? If God is accessible, what's the point of the entire church hierarchy acting like his corporate office? And if he's near, why does he only communicate through a 2,000-year-old game of telephone, where half the lines are missing and the rest were rewritten by councils with political agendas? The distance keeps the system alive. If God was too close, you might start asking questions, and nobody wants that. Christianity's God must be far routine isn't about majesty, it's about control. Keep him distant, keep the clergy necessary, keep the donations flowing.
Some religions say that humans can work our way up to God, but human sinfulness and evil disproves this.
This brilliant logic is brought to you by the religion that insists that you're born broken and need divine bailout. He's not actually proving anything. He just quietly assumes we're all born swimming in moral sewage, then uses that as the baseline to declare every other religion invalid for not agreeing with his plumbing. Basically, he presupposes the entire Christian framework, then turns around and uses that same framework to disprove everyone else. Most faiths don't see humans as helpless moral disasters. Islam literally teaches that your deeds, prayer, and faith count. You're responsible and capable. Judaism? Same deal. Follow the mitzvot, live justly, love your neighbor. Boom, you're good. Even Buddhism and Hinduism are more optimistic. They hand you a whole user manual of practices to level up spiritually. They don't start by telling you, you're unworthy trash who can't do anything right unless someone bleeds for you first. Yeah, sit tight. Someone else already did the homework. Sounds nice. Until you realize it also comes with eternal hell if you pick the wrong savior.
But what if there was a person who was both God and human, so he could relate to God and relate to us, and therefore we could relate to God through him?
So now we're supposed to believe the solution is a guy who's both fully God and fully human. Sounds more like a philosophical facepalm than a solution. You can't be infinite and finite at once. That's not deep, that's just logical gibberish. If Christianity's ultimate solution to divine communication is divine schizophrenia, then maybe we can go ahead and take it off the list of most plausible religions. Especially when it is also the religion where God is all-loving, yet runs an eternal torture dungeon for anyone who rejects him. And why would an all-powerful God suddenly need to turn himself into a human to talk to us? What happened to just speaking? He managed fine with prophets before. Spoke to Moses from a bush, thundered from mountains, sent Gabriel to Muhammad. Did God lose his voice? But now we need God to cosplay as his own son, and die just to pass a message along? Feels like the plot of a badly written superhero reboot. And what was everyone doing for thousands of years before this human God showed up? Moses didn't need a human God to lead a nation, massacre people, or get commandments like stone your rebellious kids straight from God. The whole setup looks more like a retroactive patch job than some divine master plan.
This person exists, and his name is Jesus.
Or, if you're in India, his name is Rama. Or Guru Nanak if you're Sikh, or maybe it's the latest reincarnated Dalai Lama, if you're rolling with Tibetan Buddhism. Jesus isn't some never-before-seen concept, he's just the one whose fanbase happened to get an empire, a printing press, and a head start. God in human form? Been done. Moral teacher with divine vibes? Plenty of those. Dying for others? Not even remotely exclusive. Christianity basically found an old story, slapped a new sticker on it, and marketed it as the only way. Think of it as the ultimate spiritual franchise. Others had similar products, but only this one got the monopoly license, with hellfire penalties for shopping elsewhere. The rest of the video just turns into a Sunday sermon speedrun. Jesus was perfect. He died for us. He was just like us. He spoke our language. No one needs to hear that, right? At this point, it's not an argument, just repeating the theology without actually proving anything. So what did we learn today? Mostly that if you presuppose your conclusion, cherry-pick your premises, and squint hard enough at contradictions, you too can make your favorite religion sound airtight. His playbook is: presuppose that humans are too pathetic to reach God. Presuppose that God had to become human to fix it, even though he already had spokespeople. Presuppose that only this one guy counts out of thousands of God-men in history. Ignore the logical contradictions like the whole infinite being squeezed into a finite body paradox. This entire video is just one big theological Mad Lib, where the answer is always Jesus, no matter what the question was. The real miracle is how this stuff still gets taken seriously. Thanks for watching.